2026 tax refund update. In today's video, we have some highlights from the tax season. We have your delayed tax refunds. We have amended tax returns. We have the next direct deposit date and much more. So make sure you stay tuned for all of the details. But before we begin, as always, welcome back, everyone. So very happy to have you back for another IRS update. Let's begin with your delayed tax refunds. If you are still waiting on your 2026 tax refund, here are some of the reasons why. Common mistakes, and this may include forgetting to sign your tax return or making simple math errors, or you claim the earned income tax credit, the additional child tax credit, or you filed an amended tax return, or you file an injured spouse relief request. These are some of the reasons could delay the processing of your 2025 tax return. Now let's go over if your tax refund is reduced. If the IRS reduced your 2026 tax refund, it may be because they correct simple math errors that you made in calculations. Also, you were ineligible for some of the credits that you claim or deductions, or you owed federal taxes for a prior year, or if you underpaid your estimated taxes during the year. These are some of the examples that can reduce your 2026 tax refund. Also, your 2026 tax refund may be delayed to pay a prior debt, such as past due child support, federal agency non-tax debt, state income tax obligations, or certain state unemployment compensation debt. And if your tax refund is reduced, you will receive a notice in the mail with specific details. And if you do not receive that notice, you can contact the Bureau of Fiscal Service at 800-304-3107. And if you do not agree with the offset, you can dispute it with the IRS by following the instructions in the notice that will come to you explaining why your 2026 tax refund was reduced. Now let's move on to stolen refunds. If you were expecting your tax refund and you still have not received it and you believe it may be lost or stolen, you can request a refund trace. And requesting a refund trace depends on your filing status. If you're a single married filing separately or head of household, you can request a refund trace using the refund tracker on the IRS app. You can also call the automated hotline at 1-800-829-1954. And if you are requesting a refund trace and you are married filing jointly, you need to call 1-800-829-1040 in order to request that refund trace, or you can complete form 3911 and you can get that form on the IRS.gov website. And once the IRS receives the request for the refund trace, if the check is less than a year old, they will cancel the check and mail you a new tax refund. And you should receive that new check within 4 weeks from the date that they issue it to you. Now, if the check is more than a year old, they will mail you a new refund check with a CP32 notice. You should receive the check within 4 weeks from the date they issue it to you. And if for any reason they cannot reissue you your refund, they will mail a CP32A notice and ask you to contact them in regards to requesting a replacement refund check. And if the lost or stolen refund check was canceled, the Bureau of Fiscal Service will mail you a claim package and a copy of that cash check, and you will need to follow the instructions to complete and return the claim package. The Bureau of Fiscal Service will review your claim and the signature on the canceled check to determine if the IRS can issue you a new refund check, and this process can take up to 6 weeks. Now, if you find additional mistakes on your original tax return that are not simple mistakes that the IRS can correct, you can file an amended tax return. Now, let's go over the processing of mail tax returns. The IRS is stating that they are currently processing Form 1040 tax returns received original April of 2026 and amended received April of 2026. This does not include those that require correction or additional review. In terms of Form 1041 tax returns, they are currently processing original received March of 2026 and amended received October of 2025. And for letters and notices, if you had to provide additional information, they are currently processing your individual correspondence received March of 2026. If you had to verify your identity, remember it can take the IRS up to 9 weeks to process your identity verification and issue you your tax refund. You can check the status of your 2026 tax refund or any updates on the Where is My Refund tool on irs.gov, as well as your online transcript. Let's recap the time frame for amended tax returns. The IRS can take up to 16 weeks to process your amended tax return. We have a sample amended tax return right here. This amended tax return was received March of 2026 and completed May 18 of 2026. That is about 10 weeks. So this particular amended tax return did not take the full 16 weeks. Now let's move on to a second amended tax return. This one was received March 11, 2026, completed June 8, 2026. That is about 12 weeks. So the IRS is processing your amended tax returns between 10 to 12 weeks, which is under the maximum 16 weeks timeline. Now let's move on to the good news. Refund sent. The IRS has processed your 2025 tax return, and the next direct deposit dates shared are June 15, 2026, 846 refund issued, and 846 refund issued for June 22nd, 2026. Make sure you're checking your IRS online transcript for your next direct deposit date, and make sure to share it with us in the comments. Now let's go over the highlights for the fiscal year 2025 updated on the IRS.gov website. Total tax returns filed: 271 million federal tax returns and supplemental documents, including almost 162.8 million individual income tax returns, and revenue collected exceeded $5.3 trillion. Now let's move over to customer service for the fiscal year. The IRS states that customer service representatives answered almost 18.6 million calls and 363 taxpayer centers nationwide assisted nearly 2 million taxpayers. And during the 2026 tax filing season, roughly 45% of individual tax returns filed claim one or more of the new tax benefits, including the no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on car loan interest, and the enhanced tax deduction for seniors were claimed during the 2026 tax filing season, and the average tax refund was $3,200. Now let's go over the numbers. The IRS has not updated the numbers since May 8, 2026. So unfortunately, we do not know at this point how many 2026 tax refunds are still delayed. You can contact the IRS at 1-800-829-1040, and you can contact the Taxpayer Advocate Service for assistance as well, especially if you are experiencing financial hardship due to your tax refund being delayed. You can contact them at 1-877-777-4778. You can also schedule an in-person appointment by calling 844-545-5640. You can also contact your local state representative by going to house.gov, put in your zip code, finding your representative, and you can contact them to receive assistance in finding out what the delay is. So make sure to explore all of these options to find out what is causing the tax refund delay. And don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and come back for more 2025 tax refund updates and breaking news. Bye-bye.